The NBA is not ready for this, as Josh Hart has revealed how the New York Knicks feel about playing the Boston Celtics in the second round and why they could beat the Celtics and the ace they have up their sleeve that the Boston Celtics are just not ready for the New York Knicks to pull out on them, and we are going to break all of this down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. And guys, we are not missing a single day of uploads throughout 2025. You do not want to miss out on the daily New York Knicks content, sometimes multiple videos a day. Usually on days the Knicks do not play, we will have multiple videos. We also have a bunch of fun YouTube shorts and TikToks that you could also find. We could also be found on Spotify as well if that's your prerogative. But let's jump into it. We have a lot to talk about as Josh Hart has spoken out on his plans against the Boston Celtics and why the New York Knicks can beat the Boston Celtics despite the fact that nobody is picking them to win this series. The Celtics are a minus 900 favorite on DraftKings to win this series, which is insane. On top of that, the New York Knicks are getting clowned as they did lose all 4 games to the Boston Celtics, and 3 of them were blowouts in that regular season, but not the last one, and that is the key one here. But on top of that, it's not just about that last game the Knicks could have and should have beat the Celtics at, but didn't intentionally foul at the end of the game, and we'll get into that later. But on top of that, it's more than that. It's way more than that. And Josh Hart spoke out on all of this, talking about how the Knicks feel, saying, I don't care. If we're counted out already, then we should play with a great level of freedom. We don't really care too much about what the outside world says. We're focused on how we feel internally and going about it that way. With us, we don't really involve ourselves with what other people think. Same people who praise us one day kill us the other. So we're focused on us. It's the regular season. It means nothing. There's bits and pieces you could take from it, but at the end of the day, the series is 0-0. The playoffs are a different game, so you can't think about the regular season. At the end of the day, that's the team we were weeks ago, months ago. And Josh Hart's right. A lot of the times that the New York Knicks played the Boston Celtics, it was the first game of the season, 2 games in the winter, and then 1 game on April 8th that the Knicks easily could have won. So it's not like they've played the Celtics 4 times recently and we're just getting dismantled. One of them was in October. The Knicks were a completely new team that had barely played together or gotten time to play together. On top of that, they had multiple injuries. Then you look at the winter. Yeah, they got blown out twice. Again, not a fully healthy team and still getting it together. On top of that, that final game, they actually were a cohesive unit for the first time, and that's the team that we saw. Does anyone remember the fact that the Pistons beat the Knicks in the season series 3-1? No, because the Knicks won the playoff series 4-2. No one cares about what the Pistons did against the Knicks in the regular season. It didn't matter at the end of the day. Yes, the Celtics are much better than the Detroit Pistons, and hey, the Knicks are better than the Pistons, and the Celtics, they're probably better than the Knicks. I'm not sitting here and acting like the Knicks are definitely better the way they're definitely better than the Pistons. However, we're not going to sit here and pretend like, okay, well, the Knicks can't do it. They might as well show up or not even show up. What's the point? And then just whatever. As Josh said, if they're counted out, they could play with a good deal of freedom and not have to think about it. And Josh is right. Now, Josh Hart's been awesome for the Knicks in the playoffs thus far, averaging 12 points per game and 9 rebounds with 6 assists. Josh is also shooting 50% from the field and 50% from 3. That 3-point shooting is going to be very, very vital as the Celtics leave Josh Hart open and usually put Porzingis onto him. I just did a video on that last time, so I'm not going to do a whole deep dive. Make sure to check that video out. It's the last one on the channel before this one, so make sure to check that out. But with Josh, he's going to have to shoot the open 3. It's really vital that he does that because it's going to have a huge impact on the way that the Boston Celtics play defense and evidently have the New York Knicks play offense because the Knicks are a very reactionary team on offense that usually kind of just reacts to what the defense is giving them, and then they just end up using Jalen Brunson to be the superstar that he is. So we've seen that already. We know what the Knicks are going to do, but Josh Hart has to shoot these open 3s. It is a must for the series. On top of that, Josh also had more to say just on all this going down, saying, you're always going in with confidence. It's idiotic to play the game if you don't go in with confidence. If you don't go into it to win, you shouldn't go out there. We're confident with the team we have. We're confident with the coaching staff we have. I'm sure it's vice versa. It's the same with the Celtics. It's not lost on Josh Hart. He's played on 4 different NBA teams. He knows how this works. He's played on bad teams. He's played on good teams. He's played with LeBron James. He's played with Zion Williamson. He's played with Damian Lillard on terrible middle-of-the-road Trailblazers teams. He's done it all. He's been around the block. He's been with multiple different players and multiple different teams. And what we've seen throughout this is Josh Hart being a very solid basketball player everywhere he goes and then really finding his role with the New York Knicks. And it's been phenomenal since he's gotten here. He's been a major part of this team. But it wasn't just Josh who spoke out on this. Tom Thibodeau also said balance is what you're going to win. You can't have any mental breakdowns where you have a bad 2 or 3 minute stretch because of their ability to go on runs. You have to minimize that. The problem is the New York Knicks have not been successful at minimizing that. We've seen their third quarters through the Pistons before Game 6. They got outscored in every one. Also, that Game 4 score is wrong. It was 20-14, which Sean with a W did correct in the comments down below. So he didn't make a mistake that he didn't correct. So shout out to Sean. But point stands. The Knicks got outscored 5 of the 6 third quarters. Now, it wasn't the last one. The Knicks came out doing the layup lines, and shout out Mikal Bridges for that. However, it's still something we have to be aware of. The Knicks can't do the fourth quarter comeback gimmick against the Celtics if you're down 25 points. You have to come out, and you cannot have these breakdowns that you did have last series. And then, this is the big thing. The big man, Mitchell Robinson, comes into play here. The numbers were not great. However, he is a vital player. Now, his on the court was actually a minus .9 net rating when the off was a 3.5, which is rare. Usually Mitch's efficiency goes through everything, but Mitch in the playoffs as far as averaged 6 rebounds per game and 4 points, with also getting around nearly a steal and a block per game. Now, Mitch, he did not have his best playoff series against the Pistons. We're not going to pretend like he did. He had a great game against the Pistons, and that was huge. But where things stand, he's going to be a vital part against the Celtics. The Celtics are a different team, and Mitchell Robinson plays well against them. He plays well against Porzingis historically as well. So this is a series that's going to be interesting. You have to run that 2 big man set, like I was saying last game. You run Mitch and Cat together. It's worked for other teams around the NBA thus far these playoffs. And on top of that, Porzingis is not comfortable being the only big man out there. So you have Mitch there. Porzingis has to guard Mitch, and you stick Tatum or Drew on Towns, and you have Towns bully through either of them. And Porzingis can't play full help, or Mitch is going to be sitting in the dunker spot cleaning up offensive rebounds all night. So the Knicks, they're going to have to force the Celtics to change their style if they run this 2 big man set. It's something they didn't do in the last game against the Celtics, even though it was close. They played Mitch and Cat together for around 3 minutes. Now, Mitch had 16 minutes played. Meanwhile, Towns had 43. It was an overtime game. They should have played more of those minutes together. When Mitch was in, he was usually subbing in for Towns, only leaving them in for around 3 minutes together, which was just not enough. Now, we saw Towns have a great game against the Celtics, and we saw the Knicks do really well, despite the fact that Mikal, OG, and Josh Hart did not shoot the ball well at all. So there's a lot to really believe that if the Knicks just play their style of basketball, if they play physical, if they're gritty, if they don't let the Celtics body through them, and yes, I'm aware that Deuce and Cameron Payne both had solid games against the Celtics, and Deuce really has struggled a lot in the playoffs, but he's going to have to be better. We know that to already be a fact, but on top of this, if you play Mitch and Cat together, it is going to work against this Celtics team. We saw it for a few minutes stretch when Porzingis looked a little bit lost out there trying to deal with both of them, and it wasn't working well. So we have to continue to see the New York Knicks pull that out and use what works against this Celtics team. I think the Knicks very likely are going to do a lot better than what we saw in the regular season. I think it's going to be a very close series. I think they have everything it takes to really give the Celtics all that they have, because that we've seen that 2 big man set work for them. We've seen Mitch and Towns work because the way that Towns has the shooting ability of a guard and the fact that Mitchell Robinson's an elite offensive rebounder, it all adds up to a situation where the Knicks can find themselves in a great position to start winning games. They have to come out and they have to punch the Celtics in the mouth. As Josh Hart said, play with freedom. You're not expected to win, so you go out there, you play your game. You don't let the Celtics just do their thing on you. It's on them to win this series. If the Knicks lose, that's what was expected to happen. If the Celtics lose, it's a wild upset to New York, your biggest city sports rival, considering the Yankees-Red Sox thing. But guys, I'm so excited for this playoff series. What do you think is going to happen? How do you feel about Josh Hart's comments? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, and go Knicks.